Conceptually, the Old Monk from Demon's Souls is one of the coolest ways From Software has tried to push its vision of PvP multiplayer invasions. Instead of a traditional computer-controlled boss, the Old Monk has a chance of being puppeted by another player. While the level of challenge the Old Monk possesses largely depends on the skill of the summoned player, this unusual event nonetheless does a good job of reminding you that enemy players can appear in your game at any time, even during a boss fight. While many of its bosses have been totally eclipsed by more elegantly designed foes in subsequent games, Demon's Souls' puzzle-style showdowns remain fascinating high points in From Software's library. Old Hero is the best example, a tall, glowing, hard-hitting ancient warrior who is completely blind. He flails out in all directions, but his inability to track you by sight makes avoiding his blade practically trivial. However, while he can't see you, he can hear you. And so the clash against Old Hero becomes a quasi-stealth experience. It's hardly a difficult fight, settling into a pattern of sneaking into position, striking the hero's ankles, and then silently holding back until he resets his patrol. Despite this, Old Hero stands as a unique event in FromSoft history, and laid the groundwork for esoteric bosses like Elden Ring's Renala and Sekiro's folding screen monkeys. Dragons are typically some of the toughest bosses in From Software's games, but early dragon fights in games like Dark Souls and Demon's Souls felt more like prototypes compared to some of the epic dragon fights that appear in newer games. A turning point for fantasy's iconic winged beasts, when dragon fights truly began to feel like epic clashes, came in Dark Souls 2's Sunken Crown trilogy, with the battle against Sin, the slumbering dragon. With swelling music accompanying this monstrously difficult fight in the depths of a poisonous cavern, Sin is the template for how cool and terrifying all later dragon fights feel in From Software games. While you must put down a number of eldritch creatures during your journey through Yharnam, none reflects Bloodborne's relationship with the works of Lovecraft quite like Ebrietas, daughter of the cosmos. A mass of tentacles, growths, and wings, she's the creature worshipped by the Healing Church and the origin point of blood ministration.
We are born of the blood, made men by the blood, undone by the blood.
In short, she's a key reason for why the events of Bloodborne take place. While she doesn't quite prove as fearsome as her backstory may suggest, she nonetheless provokes a thematically rich showdown. Her most devastating attack sees her rip open the cosmos to fire valleys of arcane energy, while her regurgitated blood inflicts frenzy, a status effect that slowly drives you insane by inflicting the eldritch truth upon your mind. As we said, it's Lovecraft as hell. Arguably the most difficult fight in Dark Souls 2, Fume Knight combines speed and brawn. He dual wields two weapons, a longsword for speedy attacks, and a hulking Buster Sword style blade for heavy damage. He'll later combine the two into one giant flame sword that you do not want to get on the wrong end of. While the Fume Knight's difficulty makes him stand out, he's also very fun to fight. FromSoft's dual style fights typically pit you against either a speedy knight or a heavy, but Fume Knight combines both in one flame-wielding package. The fight against Bayle the Dread is memorable enough on its own, what with being one of the hardest bosses in a DLC featuring some of the toughest bosses throughout all of Elden Ring. But what really elevates it and sends it over the edge, making it one of the best fights throughout the series, is your NPC ally, Egon.
Bayle! Vile Bayle!
His guttural cries of sheer hatred for Bayle, both in the lead up to the fight and the fight itself, are just so unforgettable, and add another layer of excitement in an already incredibly exciting face-off against a hideous dragon.
I will soon feast upon your heart!
Every FromSoft game has a proving ground moment relatively early on. These boss fights challenge your grasp of the game's mechanics, and if you can't overcome them, then that's likely where your playthrough ends. Bloodborne features perhaps the best of this particular style of boss with Father Gascoigne. If you just mindlessly strike at him, he will counter you with a gunshot and use of a visceral attack for huge damage. And if you just try to rely on your reflexes and dodge his attacks, he will likely outlast you thanks to how little damage you do and how few healing blood vials you likely have. To take on Gascoigne, you need to learn how to use the environment to your advantage, to not get greedy with your offense, and ideally, how to use your own gun to parry his slower attacks, all of which are crucial skills that you'll need to know for future, harder fights in Bloodborne. Elden Ring is bursting to the seams with sweeping spectacle, but not many of its encounters come close to facing off against the scale of Starscourge Radahn and his vast festival battlefield. The oversized maniacal experimenter of gravity magic may cut a slightly comical figure atop his tiny by comparison steed, but the last thing you'll be doing is laughing when he's plunging down to earth like a meteor hell-bent on your destruction. While the patch dropped in Elden Ring's earliest days means he'll no longer offer the same level of ludicrous challenge he once did, the battle against Radahn is still a fight that stands as one of Miyazaki's most inventive. The ability to summon in numerous NPC companions you've met along your journey adds a real sense of epicness to the battle as well, as the likes of Blade, Lionel the Lionhearted, and everyone's favourite big pot lad, Iron Fist Alexander, join the fray.
Ah, hello there.
It's an encounter worthy of the Festival of Combat's name, and one that ends in one of the most, literally, earth-shattering moments of Elden Ring, revealing a whole new layer to FromSoft's masterpiece.
He was a living legend if ever I saw one.
FromSoft's games are laden with melancholy, but few moments reach the heart-tugging heights, depths of being asked to strike down Great Grey Wolf Sif. Artorias' loyal, oversized canine companion, Sif can be found guarding the grave of its fallen master, wielding his large greatsword between his jaws. This may not be Dark Souls' most challenging encounter, but it is one heavy with atmosphere and story implications. All this can't help but leave an emotional imprint on those who take part in it. As such, it remains one of the series' most enduring moments, and a reminder that FromSoft's worlds and characters are rarely presented as morally black and white. Instead, they're forever grey. If you want an example of one of, if not the most purely aggressive bosses in Souls-like history, look no further than Maliketh. Even in his bestial first phase, he rushes towards you, darting in and out of the fight, tossing rocks at you even as he dodges away. But the real terror begins when he throws away his robe and reveals his true form, Maliketh, the Black Blade. He doesn't even restore his health, but it never feels like he's coming into the battle at anything less than 100%, because it's so hard to actually find opportunities to hit him. His combos are long and have multiple follow-ups that are easy to catch you by surprise if you've not committed every precise pattern to memory. Despite this difficulty though, Maliketh remains one of the most memorable boss fights throughout all of Elden Ring for how high intensity the whole fight is, right from the get-go. Dancer of the Boreal Valley is a visually stunning, technically unique boss fight. Wielding a pair of curved blades, this giant armored boss utilizes her long limbs and erratic fighting style to keep players on their toes. Unusually timed animations mean you never know when she's gonna strike, nor from what distance, making it hard to predict her moves. But Dark Souls 3's animation team deserves extra credit for creating such an eerie figure whose dance-like movements certainly live up to her name. The first time players face off against Sekiro's Genichiro Ashina, the battle takes place in a field of reeds on a moonlit night. While the boss fight will likely last only a few short minutes, it is one of the most memorable fights in the entire game. That's until you face him again atop Ashina Castle, where you'll face one of the most epic duels in From Software's history. Crossing swords with Genichiro Ashina will require all of your strength and guile, and learning to deflect literal lightning back at your foe is perhaps Sekiro's mythical swordsman fantasy at its most potent. Ultimately though, this fight is a test to see whether you grasp Sekiro's key concepts of parrying and deflecting, because if you're not prepared for Genichiro, you're not prepared for Sekiro. As Sekiro's storyline begins to branch into its final act, progressing towards the purification ending involves killing Wolf's imposing and traitorous father, Owl.
What's the matter, Stray? Nothing left to lose?
The fight's emotional blows are second only to its physical ones, as Owl is one of the most aggressive and hard-hitting bosses in the entire game. He has an arsenal of lethal gadgets up his sleeve, hurling handfuls of shuriken as he leaps through the air and casting trails of thick smoke and sparks that conceal his long-reaching sword strikes. Despite his heavy, muscular physique, he's surprisingly quick, especially during the fight's second phase when he's able to make use of a spectral owl to teleport across the arena. Now, murdering your father is a difficult thing to do, but when the fight's as thrilling as this one, the feeling is
Not entirely unpleasant.
if there's a boss who can represent the very essence of Dark Souls through aesthetics alone, it's the soul of Cinder. The final boss of Dark Souls 3, this manifestation of every lord linked to the flame takes the form of a grimdark knight shrouded in fire. Its amalgamation nature means it fights with an unpredictable array of styles. One moment it can perform a deadly pirouette with an elegant curved sword, and the next close the distance between you with a piercing spear lunge. It's the fight's second phase though that really locks Soul of Cinder into the history books, unleashing heavy, multi-strike combos with a flaming blade. His attack patterns recreate those of Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, and final boss of the original Dark Souls. And so the trilogy ends in a beautiful, haunting reflection of its seminal first outing.
Bring Friede to me, please.
A brutal endurance test across 3 distinct phases, Sister Friede is arguably the most punishing boss fight in the entire Dark Souls series. Hidden away in the ashes of Ariandel DLC, Friede is a scythe-wielding nun that fights with such relentless aggression that the most difficult thing is not so much staying alive, but finding the opportunity to deal even a single point of damage. She fights alone in the fierce first and third phases, but it's the middle phase where things really get going. Friede awakens the ginormous Father Ariandel, who drags himself around the arena while spilling great tides of searing flame from his massive bowl. Overcoming both Ariandel and the frost-casting Friede simultaneously is a song of ice and fire for the ages. Bloodborne's most infamous foe, Orphan of Kos, plagues the nightmares of all who have faced it. The grotesque, shrieking offspring of a dying Great One, the Orphan is a terrifyingly fast boss. After closing the distance with a spry leap, it attacks tirelessly with lengthy, unpredictable combos that are difficult to parry and leave practically zero room for error. Oh, and if its corpse-like form wasn't gross enough, it wields its own solidified placenta as a weapon, hurling pieces of it at you as if they were organic grenades. It truly is a thing of nightmares.
I am Malenia, Blade of Miquella, and I have never known defeat.
No other FromSoft boss has defined the cultural zeitgeist like how Malenia, Blade of Miquella, did. That was a clear shift in the gaming community where players steadily started to discover her hiding spot at the bottom of Elden Ring's Halig Tree. Arguably the 2022 Game of the Year winner's most challenging fight, and if not definitely one of its most memorable, the clash against Malenia takes place over 2 punishing stages that put all of your dueling skills to the test. If your name isn't Let Me Solo Her, that is. The first is a sword-centered face-off in which the legendary Twin of Miquella, who brought Caelid to ruins for an unleashing of Scarlet Rot, aims to skewer you with her mesmerizingly deadly waterfowl dance maneuver. If you manage to weave yourself in and out of her flurrying swipes, you'll meet her second form, the beautifully destructive Goddess of Rot persona that unleashes sparkling red plumes that will eat at your health bar. Malenia's a mighty challenge to take down, but also a boss fight filled with visual spectacle and rooted in a deep story attached to the shattering of Elden Ring's world. Sekiro's Guardian Ape is undoubtedly the most comedic foe on this list. As you'd expect of a giant monkey, this mighty beast lashes out with a primal rage, its gangly limbs flailing outwards in order to sweep you off your feet. But between those strikes are moments of gleeful toilet humor, as the Guardian Ape farts poison gas in your face and slings stinky mounds of poop across the battlefield. It's delightfully silly stuff. But the Guardian Ape is also the dirtiest trick FromSoft has ever pulled, and not because of all the feces. With the ape's head severed from its neck, it seems like the fight is over. The shinobi execution graphic even appears, which always marks the end of a tough battle. And then the Guardian Ape stands up, its head grasped in one hand, the sword that decapitated it in the other. And then you must survive a frenzied fight with the ape's shrieking reanimated corpse. There's never been a table flip quite as effective as this one. Artorias the Abyss Walker is a truly tragic figure within Dark Souls' lore. Possessed by the essence of darkness and forced to abandon his friends and compatriots, Artorias is a great piece of Dark Souls writing. Not only that, he's also an exhilarating boss fight. After dying again and again to Artorias' rapid attacks and tricky combos, by the time I defeated him, I felt like I should start recording my gameplay like Sony Legend. More so than any other fight, beating Artorias felt like a rite of passage for anyone looking to embark on the path of mastering Dark Souls. The Nameless King is an example of a perfect Dark Souls boss. He's undeniably one of Dark Souls 3's most difficult foes, but nevertheless puts up a fair and measured fight. His lightning-wreathed lunges and explosive slams are clearly telegraphed, and you don't need superhuman reflexes to counter him. What you do need is endurance, persistence, and flexibility, as this long fight of two halves presents a duo of unique challenges. The first phase is a gold standard dragon duel, with the king riding atop his fire-belching, constantly mobile wyvern. With his mount defeated, you move onto the grounded second phase, in which you go toe-to-toe for the thrilling finale. Fought atop Archdragon Peak within the Eye of a Storm, Nameless King provides an unforgettable spectacle soundtracked by one of the series' best ever musical themes. This really is almost as good as it gets. The first time you encounter Ornstein and Smough, you might think to yourself, 2-on-1? That doesn't seem very fair. What's funny then, is that after you finally manage to kill one of them, the other absorbs their fallen allies' power, restoring all of their health, and becomes a tougher version of what you've already been fighting, no doubt prompting you to think, again, wait, that doesn't seem very fair. Ornstein and Smough established the very template for this kind of double boss fight, and it's one that From Software loves to include in virtually every one of its games released since Dark Souls. None have quite reached the level of notoriety as Ornstein and Smough though. It's an unforgettable fight on its own, but its influence on the genre as a whole is what truly makes this battle so special.
You were at my side all along.
Ludwig is arguably Bloodborne's most complex boss. He constantly evolves throughout the fight, making use of new moves as you chip deeper into his health bar. Across both phases, he's able to command a total of 23 unique attacks, many of which are unleashed with such ferocity that even a minor error can leave you crushed beneath Ludwig's hooves. To defeat him, you need to fully embrace Bloodborne's trademark aggression and speed, particularly in the first phase, in which Ludwig leaps around like a frenzied buckaroo. Alongside being a serious challenge, Ludwig is a great encapsulation of Bloodborne's tragic lore. He's the Healing Church's first hunter, now mutated into a horse-like, multi-limbed eldritch horror thanks to his dangerous obsessions. Proudly wielding Yharnam's version of FromSoft's reoccurring Moonlight Greatsword, Ludwig is one of the studio's greatest creations.
Hand it over, that thing, your dark soul.
Few fights feel as truly mythical as the showdown with Slave Knight Gael. The final boss of Dark Souls 3's Ringed City DLC, he more than lives up to the task of being the trilogy's concluding challenge. In the fight's opening act, he crawls around, beast-like, swinging his blade in heavy, imprecise arcs. But come phase 2, Gael takes on the strength of the Dark Soul itself. He stands upright, his cloak billowing like the wings of a fallen angel, armed with a terrifying array of abilities, from clouds of spectral skulls and lightning strikes to a machine gun-like crossbow. This fallen knight really is the ultimate test of skill.
That's fine, we weren't even looking at health.
We weren't even trying.
Nah, we weren't even trying.
And thanks to Gael's story being so intricately entwined with the entire canvas that is the Dark Souls story, besting him feels like a momentous occasion.
big the world is.
Stand witness to how its existence unfolds.
皆さんこんにちは。モンスターハンターワイルズプロデューサーの辻本です。無料タイトルアップデート第1弾の追加モンスターとして玉三つが決定いたしました。この他にもタイトルアップデート第1弾で追加されるコンテンツはまだありますが、詳細は改めてお知らせしたいと思っております。本作は発売後に数回のタイトルアップデートを予定しています。タイトルアップデート計画については追ってお知らせしますので、今後の情報にご期待ください。2月28日の発売まであと少し。皆様に楽しんでいただけることを心よりお待ちしております。本日の発表は以上となります。引き続きステートオブプレイをお楽しみください。
To unleash vengeance. More than a weapon, it is the soul of a shinobi. No obstacle can stand in their way. Soaring where others would not dare. Striking with lethal precision. Each weapon a tool, each tool a part of the whole. This is the master of the shinobi. The legend continues.
laws that govern reality. To turn the gears of time once again.
An apocalypse looms over parallel worlds as their fates begin to intertwine. The battle to alter destiny begins. Embark on a journey alongside gods, heroes, and monsters of bygone eras. The anomalies, known as Digimon. Seize the future. Together. The story of a bond that transcends time.
大家好，我是《输入之魂》的创作者杨斌。从一名独立开发者到今天与 PlayStation 携手，这一路走来已历经10年。《输入之魂》结合了流畅爽快的战斗体验与丰富多样的世界设计，玩家将在各具风格的场景中探索，面对充满个性的敌人，同时与有趣的角色互动，逐步揭开精彩的故事。接下来，我非常激动地向大家展示全新的游戏预告，并正式确认游戏的发布日期。
I keep having the same dream. A horrible dream. Where monsters invade our world. A powerful being falls from the sky. And when it seems they might vanquish the invaders, the dream ends. Is this really just a dream? My only hope lies with you.
Come, Kaiser. We will travel across worlds, leap through dimensions, together. I see great power within you, a destiny waiting to be fulfilled. Let me be your vengeance, the blade in your hand. Never wanted to be a hero. But for humanity's sake, you must.
Then give me your power, Arena.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Benson. We've got several updates today from partners around the world, starting with news from the Like a Dragon series. First up, a playable demo of Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii arrives on PS5 this Friday. Players can try out 2 battle styles, including Goro Majima's new Sea Dawn style, as well as engage in naval battles at the Pirates Coliseum. Sega and Mint Rocket join forces in Ichiban's Holiday, a new crossover DLC coming to Dave the Diver. Ichiban Kasuga and other Like a Dragon characters team up to thwart a gang of troublemakers in classic beat-em-up style, all while perfecting new recipes at Bancho Sushi. Dave the Diver Ichiban's Holiday arrives this April on PS5 and PS4. The Splitgate 2 alpha begins February 27th on PS5. Use portals and futuristic physics to dominate the arena, and play a new 24-player mode where 3 teams compete on a massive map.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I'm here to give you an exclusive first look in the future of the WWE 2K franchise. Introducing The Island. With The Island, players enter an online environment filled with WWE-themed landmarks, quests, live events, and shops with up to 50 other players at a time. The Island also offers deep customization, giving players the chance to personalize their My Superstars like never before. As the first of its kind for the franchise, The Island is not just an addition, it's a bold step toward the future. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Island.
Sup? I'm Randy from Gearbox. And I'm Randy from Gearbox. And you know why we're here. We're here for you. Are you ready? It's 2025, and every day we are getting closer to the launch of Borderlands 4. Let's go!
Wake up and I'm feeling like a I wake up feeling like I'm brand new. I wake up feeling like I'm brand new. You don't wanna try me. I'm on different timing. You don't wanna try me. I'm on different timing. We have to beat like ya. Get off the heat like ya. We step on the beat like. Come on. Wake up and I'm feeling like a punk. Wake up and I'm feeling like a punk. Don't wanna be like us. Don't wanna be like us. Don't wanna be like us. Wake up and I'm feeling like a. Wake up and I'm feeling like a punk.
So badass, so much fun. I want more. We don't have to wait long now. Borderlands 4 is going to break free for a special state of play this spring, focused exclusively on Borderlands 4. And we're diving deep, you guys. Join us. Borderlands 4, state of play for combat, vault hunters, action skills, exploration and discovery, everything. You're gonna see more guns than you can even count. All on PlayStation 5, but Randy, do you have anything else for us? I think I do, Randy. Well, what is it? Don't hold out on me, Randy. I'll feed you, baby bird. Who wants a launch date for Borderlands 4? This Randy. Well, Borderlands 4 launches worldwide for everyone on September 23rd, 2025. We got work to do. See you in spring.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but I really don't do small talk. Nice to meet you, too.
So you want to go through more of your crazy stories? My crazy stories? But how are we supposed to get out of here if we don't start to trust each other?
I don't need your trust.
Well, I kind of need yours.
2, 1, go!
I took inspiration for this story from when me and my sister were younger.
Look at all of this. It's amazing. I base the story around my dad. All I can do is write this silly story. Oh, we'll face it together. We got this.
Yeah. Follow my lead.
Are you for real, Zoe?
I wrote it when I was a kid.
What sort of double child were you?
Hands above your head.
What now?
Ah! I did not sign up for this! Brace yourself, Zoe!
Status report.
Looks like it penetrated through there. We need to inspect the hull damage first.
Doesn't look too bad.
Doesn't look too good either. What is that?
You feeling all right?
It's like my body's going one way and my mind's going another.
What is that? This ship is infected with an alien organism. It still doesn't feel real sometimes.
Never forget why you started. Lord have mercy.
Do you think Williams knows more about this substance than he's letting on? You can't take any chances with him.
It can manipulate its physical appearance. It's changing its cellular structure. It's replicating the human form. It's replacing us.
I know this will be difficult to hear, but if you're still out there, you deserve the truth.
So let me explain the situation. One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing, leaving our property abandoned in his warehouse. Your job is simple. Enter the warehouse and retrieve the technology that he was developing for us. It's a kind of prototype endoskeleton that can adapt to any costume and become any character. We suspect it may be malfunctioning, so just be aware of the slim but non-zero chance that you could sustain significant injuries while attempting to retrieve it, including but not limited to death or dismemberment. We fully expect the retrieval process to go smoothly and without incident, but just in case, we suggest you get your affairs in order before arriving.
Back to work.
Responsible for damage to property or person. Thank you for being a valued member of the Fazbear team.
Greetings from Moonhood. We're the creators of the Midnight Walk, cozy horror game created entirely in clay, where you will journey down a nightmarish highway riddled with terrors that want to devour you and your little lantern creature, Hawk Boy. Together with your little friend, you must outsmart these terrors and bring back fire to this mad world we've handcrafted for you. So please enjoy this short gameplay preview.
After the end of the world, the Burnt One woke from a deep slumber.
Fire? I'd almost forgotten how it felt. You're the caretaker of this little firecracker? I reckon you must be headed for Moon Mountain. Am I right?
Close your eyes to make things clear.
Special thanks to Klaus and Olav for that updated look at the Midnight Walk. Up next, a quirky new adventure from Konami. In Darwin's Paradox, you play as Darwin, a clever octopus who finds himself dumped near a highly suspicious food processing center. Use Darwin's natural camouflage and inking skills to escape the facility and save the world from aliens. We're excited to reveal a brand new title from Koei Tecmo Games and Omega Force. Warriors Abyss, a roguelite spin on the Warriors franchise. Descend into hell. Call on powerful allies. And experiment with tons of playstyle combinations to send the enemy hordes flying. A roguelite hell awaits when Warriors Abyss launches on PS5 and PS4 later today.
For whom are you working? I won't forgive you. Prepare yourself!
A PS2 era classic returns with Onimusha 2: Samurai's Destiny. Capcom is enhancing the original game with HD graphics and a host of quality of life features, including fine-tuned analog controls. Immerse yourself in Jubei's hard-boiled journey and fight through a world of turmoil alongside trusty allies. Onimusha 2: Samurai's Destiny comes to PS4 on May 23rd and will be available for pre-order later today. Looking to 2026, let's check out a new trailer for Capcom's latest entry in the series, Onimusha: Way of the Sword.
強さの証明だろ。勝てばそれでいい。てめえらごときがいくら束になってこようが。やべえ。 すぎだろ。
ご無事で何よりです。
お前、なんだ？
Colonel, tighten the security on this place. He's coming here, I'm sure of it. America is out to destroy the Shagohod and get its hands on your inheritance. The Philosopher's legacy. Then they're out to kill me as well.
What's the story between you and the boss?
She was like a mother, and my master.
The Cobras will take care of him.
Do you hear me, Snake? We are the sons of the boss!
I see it! The fear!
A great and terrible fury at being alive.
A host of sorrows. And you are one of them.
Why'd you come back? There's nothing for you here. Go home. Go back to your boss.
But I still have the Shagohod and the legacy. There is nothing America can do to stop us. I'm not finished yet!
When the fury of emotions sparks the wildfire of violence, it dissolves our illusions and exposes the fragile structure of reality.
I have 1,000 questions. Why did you come back?
I stood in the home I was born in. In that moment, I felt a connection.
Epsilon 11, sound off. Where are my men?
They're gone.
Choose your next move wisely.
What happened here? Madness and hatred and lots of it. Impossible. It's you. We must continue. We've begun to uncover.
Can it be winter all of a sudden?
I'm sorry. You want to know the year? What a pleasure to meet a stalker worthy of the name. It's been far, far too long.
Oh, my forever friend. Help me to hold your hand and dance.
You're not the puppet I was expecting. Who are you?
She was looking for someone. Legendary. She stepped up only because no one else could. Too many stalkers were lost to that evil.
I'll do whatever it takes. Your survival is all that matters. Nothing else comes close, not even my life. I swear I won't be late. Not again.
I don't know where I came from or how I was made. That's me, little again once in a lifetime. Where do you think doors have eyes? We don't know where our children will put down roots.
皆さんこんにちは。Qゲームスのクリエイティブディレクターのバイオンです。私の最新作ドリームオブサナザーはいかがだったでしょうか。破壊なくして想像はないというテーマのもと、ドリームオブサナザーではシューティングゲームの常識を覆す体験ができます。武器で傷つけたり破壊するのではなく、抽象化している散らばった世界を具体化して想像することができるのです。本作ではポイントクラウドというテクノロジーを採用し、プレイヤーは幻想的な夢の世界へダイナミックな変化を与えることができます。今年 PS5 登場予定で、本日からウィッシュリストへの追加ができます。ありがとうございました。
Hey everyone, I'm Kristen Zitani, and I'm excited to share even more PlayStation news in today's show. Days Gone Remastered, the definitive version of Bend Studios' post-apocalyptic open-world epic, comes to PS5 with VRR support and PS5 Pro support. It also includes added content like permadeath and speedrun modes, an enhanced photo mode, new accessibility features, and Horde Assault, a survival arcade mode with increased horde sizes that will provide a fresh way to experience Days Gone. And if you purchase Days Gone on PlayStation 4, you can upgrade to a digital version of Days Gone Remastered and get all the content and features for $10. Days Gone Remastered launches on PS5 April 25th. New DLC is coming to Stellar Blade this June. The sci-fi action game is partnering with Goddess of Victory Nike on a new boss battle, collectible dolls and stickers, plus a new outfit. Both the Nike DLC and the PC version of Stellar Blade launch this June. We've got some great PlayStation Plus updates today, starting with game catalog titles arriving on February 18th. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Top Spin 2K25, and launching in a game catalog, Lost Records Bloom and Rage, from the creators of Life is Strange.
Did you girls ever see anything weird around these parts?
In this episodic adventure, players will join 4 high school girls living through the defining summer of their lives. What begins as a tale of friendship will eventually blend reality, dreams, and the unknown into a dual timeline narrative. The first episode of Lost Records Bloom and Rage arrives February 18th, with the second episode arriving in April. We're also excited to confirm 2 unique indie titles that will launch into game catalog later this year. Explore a mysterious mansion in Blueprints, a genre-bending architectural adventure. Every door is a new decision as you build out a sprawling manor with 45 shifting rooms, adding layers of strategy, puzzles, and exploration. Blueprints launches day 1 into game catalog this spring. Abiotic Factor is a 6-player survival crafting game from Playstack and Deep Field Games. Stranded miles beneath the surface, you and a team of scientists must craft ingenious gear and traps to outwit your enemies and make this bizarre underground complex your new home. Abiotic Factor will be available in game catalog when it launches this summer. Now let's get a sneak peek at games coming to the PlayStation Plus Classics catalog. Coming soon are the first 3 Armored Core titles from the original PlayStation: Armored Core Project Phantasma, and Armored Core Master of Arena. Meanwhile, Patapon 3 slides its way into the Classics catalog next week.
No one knows how that world came into being. It devoured everything from the past. Only I was left. That was a fatal mistake.
It's the aura of the Grail pieces. I can sense it. As long as it is reforged.
My wish can be fulfilled.
But wishes come at a price.
To pursue one's wishes is to court one's doom.
Gwendolyn, this is your final warning.
My quarrel lies not with you, but I will take back everything that belongs to me. Even if the price is my soul. The table is dead. It exists no more.
How do you feel? Is something bothering you?
Just some noise in my core.
Deep down in the depths of Vulcan, you must retrieve the Architect's core.
They will send everything they have to stop us.
You know I would never want to see you hurt. But the path we walk demands the extreme.
I remember you.
Run away.
My memory's still a bit blurry. Remember this.
Diaz! Showtime! I have these gaps inside my head. Satellite gives us a 10-minute window. You made it. That's just leftover hardware. It's been decommissioned. What the hell is happening? All I know is that Silvercorp is a piece of my story. I'll cover you. All this time you just wanted answers about the tech in your head? Are you kidding me? This thing has ruined my life.
You have no idea who you're dealing with. After what you did, we should have left you in the desert.
This is not the first time we've had a fatal error with your tech. Diaz, make it stop! Make it stop! I know what I have to do. This is the only way.
Hello, I'm Leslie Benzies, director of Mind's Eye, Build a Rocket Boy's new action-adventure set in the fictional city of Red Rock, where AI and human greed collide to bring Earth to the precipice of collapse. All captured on PlayStation 5 Pro. We're now proud to share some gameplay footage with the explosive combat and high-octane driving that you can expect on PlayStation 5 later this year.
And rescue bots. They're malfunctioning. They're attacking us. always comes back to this. This world, this moment, this choice. Every time the sun dies, madness reigns. Then everything begins again. But after every death, I always come back stronger. I know that you are here, and I will find you.
Hey everyone, I'm Gregory Loudon, Creative Director at Housemarque. We are thrilled to announce that our latest game, Saros, is launching next year on PS5 and enhanced for PS5 Pro. Saros is the ultimate evolution of the Housemarque gameplay-first experience. It's a new single-player IP that builds on Returnal's award-winning third-person action. You play Arjun Devraj, performed by the brilliant Rahul Kohli. Arjun is a powerful enforcer searching for answers on a hostile shape-shifting planet haunted by an ominous eclipse. All of us at Housemarque can't wait to share more about Saros, with our first look at gameplay coming later this year. Thanks for watching.